Hey, boys and girls. Good to see you in a video. Haven't had to do many of these this year. Thankful. Let me see if I can get this in just a little bit better for you. So, we're learning lesson 6.5 today, multiplying polynomials. And if you don't see these notes in front of you, you need to look in the packet that I gave you in class, and it should be in there. Or if you are at home, this should be under the topics page under chapter 6. And you don't have to print this out. You can just go ahead and use it like it is. So let me grab a pen, a pencil, and let's get to it. So we have been working on exponents. And this is most of the reason why, because we're going on to work with polynomials, and we've been doing that, adding and subtracting them. And today we're multiplying. So we're starting off simple. We're going to do a few problems just doing monomials times monomials. And then we're going to get a little bit more challenging, the monomial times the polynomial. And then finally, more polynomial multiplication. All right, so this, I don't want you to be nervous or stressed, but we're multiplying. So when you look at multiplying this, it might help your brain to put the coefficients together, because we're going to look at this and do 6 times 3, and then we have the y to the third times the y to the fifth. And so 6 times 3, 18. And then the bases are the same, so we add the exponents, y to the eighth, and that's it. That's our answer. That's how simple that it can be. You're just following the things that we have been doing. Now, if it helps you to rewrite them out, you can, or maybe you've gotten pretty good at this and you can look at this and you can say, okay, I know 3 times 9 is 27. And m times m squared, you're adding, so there are 3 m's there, m to the third power. And n squared times n is n to the third power. All right. Now, if I go too fast for you, you can pause this video at any time. You can back it up and look at what I did again. All right. Now, number 3, it just has 3 different monomials. And remember, multiplication you can do in any order that you want. So for this one, I think I'm going to take a moment and move everything that has similar bases together. I'm going to start with the 1/4 times the negative 12 over 1. Most of you like looking at it that way. I've got times s squared times s times s. And then we've got a t squared times t to the third. Okay, so when we break it down like that, it doesn't look so bad. But a fourth of 12, so that's 12 being divided by 4. And you can see that reduces to a negative 3. And then look how many s's we have. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4 of them. And our t's, we have 1, 2, 3, and then 3 more. So t to the 6th. And there you go. That's our final answer. Negative 3, s to the 4th, t to the 6th. Alrighty. So when you move from monomial times monomial to monomial times polynomial, you want to think of distributive property, right? We're going to take this 4 and we're going to multiply it to our trinomial. So when we're done, we're going to get another trinomial. All right, now this is just a 4. So this is more of the coefficients. We're just multiplying coefficients, and then the variables are going to stay the same. So we have 4 times 3, which is 12, and you keep the x squared. We have 4 times 4, which is 16x, and 4 times negative 8, which is a negative 32. So we started with the trinomial. We moved every single term, we multiplied every single term by 4, and we ended up with a new, much larger trinomial. Let's see how it looks for number 5. Now, number 5 is a little bit more interesting because you have a 6 and an x and a y. So you've got some variables, but we're going to go ahead and do distributive property. So we have 6 times 2, which is 12, x times x, which is x squared, and then still times the y. Right? So we've got that one term done, and now we're going to multiply that by the negative y. So it's a negative, think of it as a negative 1 out in front here. So it's a negative 6xy squared, right? Y times y is the y squared. And notice again, we multiplied a binomial, So we end up with a binomial. All right. Number 6, I gave you a fraction, but I made it a nice one. It's just a 1/2. So we're going to do distributive property again. Don't let the size freak you out, right? It's the same thing over and over. It's multiplying. Distributive property, it's just a little bigger. So we're going to do 1/2 of 6, which is 3. X squared times the x, right? We have 2 x's and one more, x to the third. And y times y squared. First term done. The next term, we have 1/2 times 8 is a 4. X squared times x squared is x to the fourth. And then y times y squared is y to the third. Okay. So moving on, now we're going to do polynomials, and this is more distributive property. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do the first one and the second one, and I'm going to let you try the third one on your own. So when you think of distributive property, you've got 2 binomials, and these are pretty popular, and we need to know these really, really well because we are going to be doing something with these in chapter 7. So if you don't do this well, chapter 7 will be even more difficult. So stick with this and really learn this. We're going to start with our first term in our binomial. And we are going to take this first term and we are going to multiply it to our other binomial. So we're going to do s times s, and then we're going to do s times -2, distributive property. So we've got s times s is s squared. S times -2 is a -2s. And then we're going to go to the next term and we're going to distribute that term to our other binomial. So we have 4 times s, and it's a positive one, and 4 times -2, which is a -8. Now, these are special because once you do the multiplying, you're not done. You'll notice that in the middle, we have some like terms here. So we want to go ahead and combine our like terms. You've been doing this before. You did this in adding, subtracting. So we have s squared. A -2s and a positive 4s is a, yep, a positive 2s minus 8. And that's your final answer. That is your trinomial. Most of these have combined like terms, and most of them will give you a trinomial. Once in a while, they will stay 4 terms, though. So just be on the lookout for that. All right. What I'd like you to do is pause, and I want you to try to do number 8 as much as you can. So pause, and when then you're ready, unpause and watch me do number 8. All right, so we're going to do distributive property. 4x times x is 4x squared. 4x times -7 is a -28x. 3 times x, positive 3x. And 3 times -7 is a -21. And don't forget to combine those like terms. So we've got the 4x squared, -28 plus 3x, right? They're both x terms, gives us a -25x. And don't forget the -21. How'd you do? Don't worry if you didn't get it. We got more practice, okay? All right. Number 9, we're going to go ahead and multiply 8m squared times m squared is 8m to the 4th power. And then we've got 8m squared to the -3n. So be careful, it's a negative. So 8 times -3 is a -24. M squared n. This one's kind of fancy. And then -n times an m squared. So -m squared n. And really, the way you write the coefficients doesn't make a difference. I know these are like terms, so I like them to look the same. But it is multiplication. So if you made it different, it could be a little bit different. And then -n times a -3n is a positive 3n squared. And look at those big old like terms. M squared n, right? Both negative. So we've got an 8m to the 4th power, a -25m squared n. Oh, I'm running out of room. I'm so sorry. and then the positive 3n squared. Just made it. All right. Hope you're doing okay. All right, so look at 10 and 11. You can do this. This is distributive property. Just instead of distributing x to 2 terms, you're distributing x to 3 terms. No big deal, right? So we're going to take x and we're going to distribute it and distribute it and distribute it. So we're going to get x times x squared is x to the third. X times 4x is positive 4x squared. And x times negative 6 is a negative 6x. 3 terms. Then do the same thing with the negative 5. Negative 5 times x squared. Negative 5 times 4x. And negative times negative 6, double negative, positive 30. Now you're going to notice we have a lot of like terms. We got more than we had before because we had more things that we were multiplying. So be careful as you go to put these together. All right. So I like to keep them in descending order. So I'm going to keep the x to the third first. And then I've got a 4x squared and a negative 5x squared. Gives me a negative 1x squared. And for you fancy people, you know we don't have to put the negative 1. You could just put negative x squared if that's what you like. And then I've got a negative 6x and a negative 20x for negative 26x. And finally, the positive 30. There you go. Not too shabby, huh? All right. So the last one, well, not the last one, excuse me. The one that's just like it, number 11, pause me and go try this on your own. I'm serious, pause me. Okay, so here's what it looks like. 3x times x to the third, that's 3x to the fourth. 3x to 4x squared is positive 12x to the third. Notice how slowly I'm going and I'm not rushing because there's a lot to think about. 3x times the negative 7 is a negative 21x. Whew, halfway done. Ooh, 1 is easy, isn't it? We love these. 1 times x to the cubed is x cubed. Oh, excuse me. 1 times 4x squared is 4x squared, and 1 times negative 7. All right, now go back and let's get those like terms. So we've got the 3x to the fourth. Hold on, I'm running out of space. There we go. 3x to the fourth. We have a 12x to the third and a 1x to the third for a 13x to the third. And then, ooh, here's an x squared plus 4x squared minus a 21x minus a 7. That is a big polynomial. 5 terms. All right, I hope it's going well for you. It's killing me not to be there with you. All right, number 12, x plus 3 raised to the third power. So that is x plus 3 times x plus 3 times x plus 3. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to multiply 2 of them first. It doesn't matter which 2, right? So I'm just going to box in the first 2. And I'm going to multiply this out. X times x is x squared. X times 3 is 3x. Distributing the 3. 3 times x is another 3x. And then 3 times 3 is 9. Okay? So now we did 2 of them, right? We took care of 2. And we've got x squared plus 6x plus 9. And now we're going to multiply that by the other x plus 3. Now, you notice I put it in the back. Does it really make a difference? It doesn't. If you want to put it in the front, you can. I'm going to go ahead and distribute the x. And I'm going to do it the way we would normally do it. So x times x squared is x to the third. X times 6x is 6x squared. And x times 9. And then let's go ahead and do the 3. 3 times x squared and 3 times 6x, and 3 times 9, right? All right, so we've got x to the third power. We have a 6x squared and a 3x squared for a 9x to the second power. We have a 9x and an 18x for 27x and a 27. All right, you can do amazing things. So you have some homework. Sorry, let me make sure. It is out of the book today. We're using that book. We haven't been in the book in a while. Let's see, what did I write down for your homework? Sorry, guys. Did I write it down in here? I don't think I wrote it down. Okay, well, here you go. You're going to go look at my CCA and see what the assignment is. The sub might have told you to. Anyway, God bless you guys.